Dr. Kenny Anthony, the former Prime Minister of St. Lucia and six-time Member of Parliament for Vieux Fort South, in an exclusive interview with Radio 100's Stanley Lucian, on Monday articulated his role in the metamorphosis of the modern St. Lucian economy, particularly during his tenure in office. In 1997, upon assuming office, Dr. Anthony confronted a landscape fraught with economic adversity, primarily stemming from the decline of the banana industry. He spoke of the precarious situation he inherited and the imperative for economic diversification.
Well, as you know, it was a very difficult period in St. Lucia's history. The economy was basically on the ropes in 1997. And a lot of it had to do with the dramatic decline with banana production. First of all, you had a warfare in the industry. Farmers were very unhappy with the treatment being meted out by the government. And I think the then government had a lot of difficulty to explain to farmers that there was a new dispensation because the duty-free access to the European market, which they had for bananas, was under threat, particularly by the EU and by the actions of the US administration. I don't think the farmers grasped the enormity of the problem that they faced, and it was also very, 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 very clear that the farmers were very dissatisfied with the response of the government to the issues.
Dr. Anthony elaborated on the strategic imperatives that guided the transition from an agrarian economy to a service-oriented model, underscoring the pivotal role of tourism as a catalyst for economic revitalization.
We therefore decided that inevitably we had to make a transition, and we chose to make that transition to tourism and to services. And this was the period post-97 when you saw massive investments in the tourism plan. So to us was entrusted the responsibility of making a transition from a banana-driven economy, because, I mean, don't forget, agriculture was contributing 15% of our GDP, onto tourism, so that we needed to develop tourism very quickly to become the dominant sector and to take up the slack that had been left as a result of the decline of the industry.
What of the social dislocation happening
immense,
there?
Immense.
But did your administration sufficiently respond to that?
I believe we did, because this was a period when we had to make major adjustments. First of all, we had to refashion the banana industry. St. Lucia took the path of privatizing the sector as best as it could by entrusting the responsibility of managing the industry privately to the banana farmers. We paid off the $45 million in debt earned by the banana farmers through their association, the SLBGA.
Reflecting on his legacy, Dr. Anthony conceded the enduring impacts of his administration's policies and the multifaceted challenges that lie ahead for St. Lucia's economy.
It was a very difficult time, because to have to manage the transition of an economy. And while today is not a day that I want to gloat on anything or to say anything about those who oppose me or oppose the government or had difficulties with me, but you'll recall that when I said publicly that our economy was in transition, I was scoffed at, laughed at. People resorted to share derision but that was the reality. And so today we have a modern economy constructed largely on tourism and services. The question, of course, is whether we're going to enjoy it in the future. That's going to be the question.
Throughout his 3 terms as Prime Minister, Dr. Anthony instituted a series of economic, legislative, and institutional reforms that have indelibly shaped the political economy of St. Lucia over the past 2 decades. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.